let's move on to this particular issue. Menoka say Dr. Bawumia, he was the messiah in the New Patriotic Party, or no, or the Ghana card ebaye, or not the good for oil ebaye. Every good thing that happened in the previous administration was the hands of Dr. Bawumia and the ingenuity of Dr. Bawumia. But then all the bad things, the e-levy, the corruption, the scandals, he really did not want it to happen, but people forced and against his will. Now, the question as to what Bawumia is going to do and how he's going to posture himself between his predecessor Akufo-Addo and then he moving forward with his political ambition. He wanted to become a flag bearer and subsequently be the president. You know, how he's going to sell himself? Hey, one big question, because you can't run away from your record. Your record is tied to Akufo-Addo, but then he's trying to distinguish. Okay, I brought free SHS, I did good for oil, I brought Ghana card. These are good initiatives that help the country, and I'll continue to help the country. But then otherwise, the bad things like the e-levy, the betting tax, the COVID-19 levy, the galamsey issue, the mismanagement, the corruption, I was not part. And Bawumia is actually going with this particular playbook. By the way, and birthday, 62 years of age. Happy birthday, Bawumia. So, yanko back. Bawumia, in head of Visa or Ken Simbia, or party say, people should stop blaming him for the wrongdoings of Akufo-Addo. You wouldn't believe this. You should video here back to us.
There was say me pese mo nyina mu hu say eye me na me wo ballot no so enye obia enti ebia obia ye hu hi owo me campaign no mamma ne hu hi embetare me ne o ye ni asem o me no mo ye ni asem me ne o ye ni asem kra enye sa Mama obi problem embetare me de me no ye ni atem utuma me a me ba we boa o me ba enti me pamocho mama obi asem embetare me em sai ma brabo wati mom tamo mami vote no me ne mo ye ni asem kra me da mo ase
so Bawumia is saying say people like ex-President Akufo-Addo, people like Chairman Wontumi, people like Agyapong, who have been implicated in various scandals, it is their issue. If you have any issue, it is between you and Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo, free SHS, it is between you and Akufo-Addo. Not between you and him, or a new candidate, or a newborn baby, or a president that. No, you're just a vice president. The boss can obey. Give him the chance. Manistiano. In this same vein, too, you also tackle the issue of religion being a major factor in swaying voters in the previous 2024 elections, because the Ken's campaign have they've been caught on guard saying, religion may have played a factor because a Muslim and Ghana is a Christian-dominated country in SMP. Yeah, sure how he responded to this, because in Japan, the campaign manager about Kukwesi Kwathin and in SMP about the video about back to us.
236 parliamentary candidates. Not only a Christopher. 236. And Kanipa voted according to religion. Then 236 candidates should have all done better than Dr. Bawumia. And yes, sir. But we have data no more. All of our strongholds, the data no we share. Said Dr. Bawumia was doing better than the parliamentary candidate in very many.
Now, for Dr. Bawumia in some way too, Jano. Obviously, it was a dig at the Agyapong's team, campaign team, and also a dig at the Brian Agyapong team. Brian Agyapong made reference of some Mamprusi stuff, and also because according to Brian Agyapong, they were saying that Bawumia is going to bring the northern votes, which in literal terms did not really translate into the votes. Okay, and also Agyapong is also of the view that the religion kind of played a factor, because Christians who basically not want a Muslim leader in SMP. But then Agyapong's campaign team member Kwesi Kwathin Wababekasa Sheha or say Dr. or make some 5 points, detailing why Bawumia is wrong. Also, Dr. Bawumia's attempt to dismiss religion as a factor in the 2024 elections by claiming he outperformed 236 Christian MPP parliamentary candidates is highly or logically weak, overly simplistic, utterly deceptive, and completely unattainable. In Topa said, in some about Miaka say, they said it was religion, but me and I'm a presidential candidate, and will be another parliamentary candidate. Religion, a more vote than the parliamentary candidate in almost 236 constituencies. Well, so. I'll say first, the basis of the comparison itself is false and faulty. DMB's, as Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's true competitor was John Mahama, and a Christian presidential candidate. Therefore, the proper and proportional measure is presidential versus presidential, not presidential versus parliamentary. Juxtaposing himself against his own party's Christian PCs is misleading, and it confuses two distinct contests, one national and one local, each shaped by entirely different dynamics. So, Kwesi Kwarteng Epache said, Bawumia Epache said, okay, I perform better than the parliamentary candidate. No, Pastor, see, people on the parliamentary candidate, on the ballot paper, no, people are not looking at parliamentary candidate and presidential candidate. They look at it this way. Presidential candidate is yourself, if you are Donko, Mahama, Cheddar, and Lanchemantin. That is the comparison that they are seeing. And on the parliamentary candidate, they are seeing an MPP parliamentary candidate, an NDC parliamentary candidate, a CP parliamentary candidate, a PNC parliamentary candidate. So you comparing yourself in a different league with a parliamentary candidate, it's like comparing, your friend is saying, a lime or lemons with oranges. They are two different things altogether. Moreover, presidential and parliamentary elections are fundamentally different. Presidential contests are shaped by national narrative and broader perceptions of leadership, while parliamentary elections depend on constituency level factors. Indeed, the fact that 345,000 voters supported our PCCS or parliamentary candidate yet rejected Dr. Bawumia at the presidential level proves this point. Hence, collapsing these categories only reduces a complex electoral process into one simplistic conclusion. Only serves to distort the reality of voter behavior. Into a part say, in some Bawumia can say, any factor, and all parties they be the fact say parliamentary voters no cry no. The fact that 345,000 supported or various parliamentary candidates and rejected Bawumia no cry say Bawumia's argument is flawed in the first place. Okay, because people are voting for their constituencies. Because voting for MPR or voting for Nipo Babeya Kwine, Nipo Babeya Gota, Nipo Beboa, Nipo Besi schools. Presidential need or share the broader perspective, the economy, inflation, and all those things. Four. The data reference itself does not support his argument. Out of 236 MP Christian parliamentary candidates and 215 NDC Christian parliamentary candidates, at least 91% of the parliamentary contests were Christian versus Christian. In such a scenario, religion is effectively neutralized as a deciding factor, leaving the candidate's popularity, incumbency, and party strength as the real variable determinant. To suggest that outperforming some Christian parliamentary candidates proves religion was irrelevant ignores both context and electoral logic. To a point, I say, parliamentary candidates now, and I call for a vote for. Most of these candidates were Christian candidates versus Christian candidates. So, where is Bawumia's argument? So they rejected the Christian candidate and voted for him otherwise. Most of these candidates were Christian candidates. 5. Finally, the true fact that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia chose to measure himself against a Christian parliamentary candidate within his own party suggests more of a rhetorical maneuver than an empirical and honest analysis of the data. And I dare say that if religion were inconsequential, the natural comparison would have been to his direct rival JM, not his own parliamentary candidate, who in the end outperformed him by a margin of 345,000 votes. Into a say Bawumia, even Bawumia cry all parties say, Sisi ano, voting man no same parliamentary candidates. The data what say wrong. over 300,000 people voted for parliamentary candidates more than the presidential candidate. That's MPP4. More voted for MPP presidential more voted for MPP parliamentary candidate more than a MPP presidential candidate. And aside from that too, the fact that Bawumia is comparing himself to parliamentary candidates rather than a presidential candidate, it is really jaw-dropping. So